Yo guys, what's going on? Rob with 421 Media House coming at you again with another deck review. This week I've got the Neil Patrick Harris playing cards by Theory 11. These are kind of interesting cards because they have a puzzle associated with them, but we'll get to that in a second. So first of all, let's take a look at the tuck case. There's some gold foiling and some embossing. There's a lot of just really fine detail on this tuck case, which is something that we've seen quite a bit from Theory 11. This is the back design of the cards actually on the back side of the tuck case here. They did a really good job of kind of giving you a luxury feel with this. It is like a matte black finish with gold foiling on it. There's a little bit of red foiling in here. It says premium playing cards, courtesy of Neil Patrick Harris on the bottom here. And then, as you can see, the seal on these cards is that Neil Patrick Harris spiral in logo. It says courtesy of Neil Patrick Harris on the one side of the tuck case, made in the United States on the other side, and then has some Theory 11 copy print on the bottom, as well as that barcode in gold. I do like the feel of Theory 11 cards in general. I think that this is something that we've seen quite a bit from Theory 11, which is this very luxury feeling tuck case at a non-luxury price, which is one thing that I do generally like about Theory 11 decks. For $10, you can get something that feels just as cool as, something like the Dan and Dave Private Reserves or, the Royal Reserve by Jeremy Griffin. If we crack this tuck case open and take a look at what we get inside, the first thing that you're probably going to notice here is the inside of the tuck case is all gold foiled as well with this pattern, and it goes all the way inside of there, which is kind of neat to see. Now let's take a look at the back design of these cards. So we've got Theory 11 here, trademark, the NPH logo in the middle here. It's got a lock on the top, two moons. These are two-way card back designs, so it doesn't matter which direction the card is facing. It is always the same direction. You got the two crystal balls. All of these things and elements play a part into Magic and Neil Patrick Harris's love for Magic, as well as a little bit on the puzzle associated with it. And you see a lot of these elements carry over into that puzzle. So if we flip these over and we take a look at the front side of the cards, we've got identical jokers. One's actually upside down right now. So it says TXI, which is Theory 11, Roman numerals, and then NPH on the other side. And then you got that star on the eye of the Joker, and again, that spiral pattern that we've seen so many times before. And then if we look at the other two cards, what they did with the ad cards in this particular deck is they give you these two cards here. And, if you pause the video and take a look at them, these are the only two cards that you need to get started on the puzzle. You don't actually need any of the other cards from the deck to do that. I have solved this puzzle before. I am still waiting for my prize pack. I've talked to a couple people, and I guess it can take up to a couple of months for Theory 11 to get that prize pack to you. So I just haven't received mine yet. I will update you guys when I get it what the puzzle is. I've actually also solved the Bad Robot puzzle as well, in case anybody was wondering. If you send me a message either here or on Instagram, I will gladly tell you how to solve the puzzle. If you get stuck, I'll give you a nudge in the right direction, but I'm not going to disclose that information here. Theory 11 did ask to keep it a secret. So like I said, I do answer people's questions on Reddit quite a bit that ask how you solve that puzzle. So let's run through the deck here quickly. This is the Ace of Spades, leading ace, of course. That Theory 11 and then Ace, NPH on the bottom here. We see that design from the inside of the tuck case. A light bulb with the N inside of it. These are pretty... They're not standard, but they're not terribly obnoxiously different pips and indices on these cards. Again, very characteristic of Theory 11 to see these darker reds and the gold foiling on the royalty cards, which I believe are all standard royalty. The red is a slightly more orange red than you would normally get with a bicycle deck, which is something that's very characteristic of Theory 11 decks. In general, again, the Suicide King, always nice to see that. These are the spades. There's nothing too crazy different about the front design of these cards. And then we get into the diamonds. So those are the cards. I think that as far as the design of these cards goes, they're kind of nice. It's nice to see that puzzle on those cards. And then as far as the performance of these goes, these are just, your Theory 11 standard stock, which is that kind of recycled card stock. It's a bit of a stiffer card stock. They are traditionally cut. They are air cushion finish. they are embossed, and they're performance coated. It's kind of everything that you want to see from a deck of cards. It's pretty standard from Theory 11. If you like the way Theory 11 decks handle, this handles just like every other Theory 11 deck. So we're going to break it down really quickly for you guys and tell you what I think of these cards. As far as the tuck case goes, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's kind of nice to see that really luxury feel with that embossing on the inside and gold foil carrying over onto the inside of the tuck case. As far as the design of the cards goes, I'm going to give these a 7 out of 10. I think that they're, you know, pretty standard for Theory 11. They're a very luxury feeling playing card and very neat looking playing card at a relatively inexpensive price. As far as the performance goes, I do really like the way that Theory 11 decks feel and handle. So I'm going to give them a 8 out of 10 as far as the performance goes. As far as the value goes, I'm going to give these guys an 8 out of 10, and part of that is because of that puzzle. That puzzle is really fun. You get a lot of entertainment out of it. I solved it over, working on it for about an hour to a night over the course of about a week, 5 days. I had a lot of fun with it. So as far as the overall of these cards goes, I'm going to give them a 30 out of 40. If there's anything that you guys want to see from me, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what I can review for you guys next. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I've got deck reviews every Thursday. Build Along, which is a series where I do a time-lapse Lego build every Saturday that comes out. And then the podcast comes out every Tuesday. Lots of interesting guests coming up. A lot of fun recording this so far. It's going to keep going. There's some pretty cool behind-the-scenes Hollywood stuff coming up. I'm trying to get a few more magicians to book in and do that. And I think that's everything. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.